But some people enter with an agenda and plan to leave when they came in just to make trouble for everybody. That happened to me when I was in Virginia. After a speech like this, I had the microphone, and a man said, "Let me have the microphone, I want to say something." I said, "Okay." I gave him the microphone. It was Egyptian. I could tell by his face and everything. He looked Egyptian. He was speaking with Arabic accent. He even said, "Jazakallah khair," which means Allah increase you in all that's good. And then he said, "It's, good for you that you're in a country," meaning America, "where you can be a preacher, a priest, and then switch over to become a Muslim. And nobody will say anything, and you can even preach about it. But in my country, in Egypt," he says, and he's got the microphone, he's walking away now, shouting at the people, "I used to be a scholar of Islam," he says, "and I became a Christian, and they want to kill me, they want to cut my head off," he says. I'm shocked. How can this guy do this? We got it on videotape. If you doubt what I'm telling you, watch it for yourself. Amazing. I'm watching this guy go. He said, "And I've got it all on tape. It's all here. I've got my tapes. They're $5, 3 for $10. And I'm going, what's this? There were some people who had come that night to enter to Islam. We had a lot of people at the university who had planned on going into Islam. And here's this guy putting on a road show here. And I'm thinking, my God. And he's got the microphone. You know what it's like not to have it? Try it like this and see what happens. Now you see the difference? I looked down on the stage and I saw it look like a snake moving. It was the wire for the microphone. I stomped on it. And when I did, he went, boing, 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 boing. I reached down, I grabbed the cable, started pulling him back. Like a fish, And I got him right up to the edge of the stage. I reached down and took the microphone. I said, "You're a bad boy." I had no clue. But I asked the people, "Is anybody here with this man?" There was a certain group all raised their hand. They said they were Coptic Christians. They were with him. I said, "Does this man's behavior represent your religion?" They said, "Well, no." I said, "Well, how many of you support the way he just did that?" They said, "We don't." I said, "Well, I'm going to ask you guys, do you want him to stay or go?" And they said, "Go." So I told them, "You better behave or else I'm going to take your friend's suggestion." I didn't know really what to say to this man, but I just knew that didn't sound right. The way he did it, the way he came across, and especially because he's out here selling his tapes at our event. But I got the chance a year later to go to Cairo, Egypt. So I went to the very university that he claimed that he was a professor at. A scholar of Islam, he said. And I asked the scholars there, and I got the video camera out, and I asked them on tape to tell us about this situation. Immediately they knew who we were talking about. They said, "He uses the name Mustafa, doesn't he?" I said, "Yeah, that's him." They said, "Yes, we know all about him." Yes, he was a professor of history. And yes, he was here. But he knew nothing about Islam. He accepted Islam right here at this university, and he had a certificate that said so in Arabic. And that's what he was showing the people in the United States, saying that he was a scholar. It was actually his shahada. And then he left Islam because they gave him money from one of the churches there to do it. And the government of Egypt doesn't support that kind of activity. And yes, they want to kick him out because that makes trouble. People kill each other over that kind of stuff there. So they didn't want him back. His government did kick him out. True. But then they said, next time you see him, shake hands with him. And while you've got his hand, just slide his shirt back a little bit and look right here on his wrist. Anybody here been in Egypt? Know any Coptic Christians? You know what I'm talking about? What's on his wrist? Salib, the cross. You know. He said because he was born as a Christian, raised as a Christian, and did it as a trick just to upset the Muslims. And I said, Alhamdulillah, Allah di ja'alna Muslimin. Because in our religion, in Islam, there's no room for that kind of activity. We cannot play games like that. And some people have gone to the extent to go to Muslim countries and tell little children, if you need something, why don't you ask Muhammad? They do that to these little kids. And of course, they say, you want candy? They say, yeah. Say, oh Muhammad, oh Muhammad. Nothing happens. Now say Jesus, Jesus. And they say Jesus, and they throw candy through the windows of the school. So the kids see the candy coming in. I heard about that. Is that the way you saw your religion? Now, to be fair, Christians don't do that. That's just a few missionaries. But still, it shows that some people misrepresent their religion really bad, because the Bible doesn't give them permission to do that. Christianity doesn't allow people to act like that. But you know something else? To be fair again, there are some people out there claiming to represent Islam, and they sure don't represent us. True? But still we have to let Allah deal with these people.